Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs postgame show podcast. That's it for 2025. The Brewers knock out the Cubs. What went wrong in this short series against Milwaukee? And is it enough for the Cubs to take that next step next season? We'll look at all of it. We'll read all your comments, and we'll relive every moment. CHGO Cubs postgame coming up next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs postgame show podcast driven by Toyota. Let's go places and Bet365. Whatever the moment, use the code. It's never ordinary. Use code CHGO365 at sign up. Cubs lose 3-1 in a winner-takes-all up in Milwaukee. The Brewers will face the Dodgers for the NLCS. Cubs couldn't quite make the Final Four of Major League Baseball. Of course, they did make a step in progress from where they were a year ago. They won a series, but this is not the way anybody wanted it to end. Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat here at the all-new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. We want to start out by saying thanks to everybody that was at all the watch-alongs, all postseason long.
Yeah.
We had some great numbers of people watching the games with us, living it with us, and appreciate all the comments, all the support, and all the people that are in the chat again tonight. And by the way, we're still going to be doing it in the offseason, so tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger to subscribe to that CHGO Cubs YouTube page because we're not going anywhere. Next show is going to be Monday. We'll recap everything. We'll probably have State of the Cubs show coming up, and we'll still be doing all of our weekly shows. Luke Stuckmeyer, Joey Christopoulos, and Justin Roman with you here in the postseason. Sarah running the ones and twos.
Killing it.
Hi.
Hi,
Killing
Sarah.
it as always.
Yep. It's tough. It's been tough. I
Right,
mean,
Justin? This a bummer.
it's like you get so jacked up, and this whole even the end of the regular season, we look so bad for a little bit, but then we had just enough fight to get that wild card one and host all 3 games at Wrigley Field. You win that first game against the Padres, feeling good. You lose that second game, elimination game, here we go. But you move on. And then this series, I believe with my entire heart we're going to win it, but then you lose the first 2 in Milwaukee. Oh my gosh, we're going to get swept by the Brewers. No, that's not how it was written. We come and we crush the Brewers at home Wednesday and Thursday, and now you're feeling good. Like, they got me back in, right? And it's like, and all the momentum's in our favor. And Wrigley North is going to be ours, Cub fans everywhere. And I just feel like they laid a goose egg out there, Would I bet my entire life savings they were going to win? No, I'm not that stupid. I have a family to think about. But I didn't think they were going to, lay down the way they did. It wasn't as competitive as I was hoping it was going to be.
I wouldn't say they laid down. I just think they reverted to old bad habits. Mm-hmm. That's what the offense looked like. We know the pitching problem. Like, you were scrapping to find the right guy to pitch the right innings, but you only gave up 3 runs.
Yeah.
The bottom line for this game specifically was they didn't score enough runs. And for all of us that said, well, we didn't win the division, but we got the wild card, and it's no different. Anything can happen. That is true. Anything still could have happened. This is why you'd prefer to win the division, because this game would have been at Wrigley Field. Yeah. And so there are games during the regular season that you can go and point to and look at, and things that happen. You can say, yeah, the Brewers made an incredible run for 1 month, but the Cubs had some opportunities throughout the season. They had some misfortune, and I think this game would have been a different result if you played it at Wrigley Field. I think home team won every game.
Yeah, well, that's what it came down to, right? Is, when they get that extra one, that's the right that they get afforded when they're in the regular season. And look, we're going to do this for a little while, and thanks everyone for joining us in the chat. And you got to forgive me for a second. I think that there's a lot of positive things that we're going to be able to talk about, and there's a lot of things that we could talk about with the Chicago Cubs that means that there's a really bright future, right? And forgive me, right? Like, this is an amazing opportunity to work here at CHGO Sports. So, like, this is the first time I've gotten an opportunity to be in front of a microphone right after this, because honestly, guys, like, from the bottom of my heart, I care about the Chicago Cubs, like, so much, right? And I'm heartbroken and I'm crushed, just like all of you guys watching it here in the chat. But, you know, let's have some real talk, and it isn't about being negative. It's just about being real and objective. Didn't play good enough to win today. And not only did they not play good enough to win today, this had been a pattern, like you said, Luke, that had kind of been festering, not only with this team through August and into September, but also kind of tipped over into the October playoff series, right? I thought, look, we had good defense and we had solid pitching and we had a couple of home runs against the Padres and we survived that series. And like you said, a lot of that was probably the benefit of us playing at Wrigley Field. In this series in particular, we got absolutely waxed in Game 1 and Game 2. It was great to see the fight and the resilience in this team to come back and literally tie it up. But again, when opportunity is afforded to you, Cubs just simply couldn't capitalize. Simply weren't good enough. And let's be real about it. Like, let's just pretend for a second that maybe the coin was flipped and maybe we had won this game 2-1 or 3-1 and played the exact same way. I promise you right now, we would have gotten absolutely smoked by the Dodgers. Just the way that we've been playing over the last week and a half.
I would agree with that.
And it's not to take away from what this team has accomplished and what it can accomplish. And there's a lot of players on this team that can improve and get better next year. There's a lot of players on this team that have already come into their own. Nico Hoerner, that we should expect to bring the same type of quality of play next year. But when you look at it, the bottom line, I'm really not into making excuses. They just they simply weren't ready to meet the challenge. And they had opportunities, right? We're sitting there during the watch along, and your best guys are up in moments when you needed them to come through. Yeah. And it's simply, Justin, it just simply didn't happen today, and that's the result. And tip your hat to the Brewers because they won today, and they should have.
Yeah, and I mean, Luke, I think we disagree a little bit. I do feel like they laid an egg. I mean, offensively laid an egg.
Yes.
You know, listen, the pitching staff for a bullpen game, 3 runs, not too bad, all right? I would have preferred it to be a shutout, but, like, you know, 3 runs, if you can't score more than 3 runs, which throughout this season, postseason, we had trouble doing, you don't deserve to win. But our offense scored 1 run today, 1 run. And it came early, I believe the second inning, Seiya Suzuki. Short of that,
then what?
Sure,
right.
We had chances, but King Tuck missed 2 big-time chances. I mean, Ian Happ had a phenomenal Game 4, but he took a strike 3 call in a gigantic spot today that you teach Little League kids, you got to get tough with 2. And I just feel like they laid an egg. I really do. Offensively, this team is better than what they showed today. They didn't rise to the occasion, and I would have bet my life that they were. Listen, again, I couldn't guarantee victory. I wanted it, but I didn't think they were going to lose like that. It wasn't the fight that I wanted.
No, I hear you, and there's a lot of simple things that you can look at, and you could take a bullet point and another bullet point and say, they lost because of this, they lost because of this, they lost because of this. Very high on that list would be swinging out of the zone. Strikeouts. They struck out a ton of times. They had 8 strikeouts in this game. They had 4 hits, 1 walk.
Horrible.
And we've talked about the walk thing. It sounds like a simple thing. It sounds stupid. It sounds like that's not what real teams do. Mm-hmm. But let's face it, they didn't walk enough in this series. They were chasing high heat all 3 losses. All 3 losses, they couldn't stay off the high heat. And how many times did they strike out, Joey?
So what you're getting at right now.
In
the series, they struck out 46 times. In the series against the Padres, they struck out 35 times for a number of 81 strikeouts in 8 playoff games.
That's almost 10 strikeouts a game.
That's right.
And look, like,
that's right.
I understand.
That's the theme of the whole last half of the season. That's a theme.
And to your point, just really quick, I understand we all are, the game is immersed in the 3 true outcomes, right, of the walk, the home run, and the strikeout, right? So the strikeouts are going to happen in the game of baseball. But what you're getting at, Luke, is when you talk to players and you talk about their hitting approach and they see these pitchers in this high velocity, they'll sometimes say, on any given day, I maybe only see 1 or 2 good pitches to hit. And I have to do the best I can with what I have. What you're alluding to isn't necessarily about keeping the bat on your shoulder and drawing a walk. It's about trying to spoil the good pitches of those pitchers, keeping the at-bat alive, because you want to increase the percentages that they will make a mistake in that sequence. And in many cases, Luke, we were helping out these Brewers hitters. I thought we helped out Mizorowski. We helped out Uribe today by swinging up in the zone. The book is out on the Chicago Cubs. And we'll talk all offseason long about what we're going to do to either augment or change this roster. The book isn't going to change. If you bring velocity up above the letters on the Chicago Cubs, you got them right where you want them. And I felt like at times, especially tonight, we played right into their hands with that. And even in moments when we didn't get the strikeout, you brought it up during the watch-along. Seiya Suzuki's got a 2-1 count. And what does he do? He pops it up, and it's a fastball above his letters again. I mean, it's a scouting report that the Padres created, that then the Brewers replicated, and now they're the Cubs are sitting in the own mess that they created for themselves. And it's unfortunate. I thought the character of this team, the defense of this team, I know we've had a ton of injuries. I know the second half hasn't gone exactly the way that we wanted to with Kyle Tucker's injury, PCA struggles, Seiya Suzuki struggles, Cade Horton's injury, Jamison Tyone's injury. We overcame a lot, and we got, honestly, a lot farther than other people thought that they did. But at the same time, you do have to be objective. As much as you want to acknowledge the success of this season, a lot to work on.
There is. And I said it during the watch along. I felt like I was watching a different team today. I was so confident after game 4 of the fact that we had all the momentum. And I said it a million times, whether it's on this show or just tweeting about it, posting about it. I really, really felt that. But as I'm watching this game, the offense was cold, almost a little tight. Defensively, Dansby Swanson makes an uncharacteristic error. I know it didn't hurt us, but even turning double play, that looked funky. I just feel like maybe they were a little tighter than I thought they were going to be. And that's a little shocking because I thought we gained all momentum going into Milwaukee. But I did feel like I was watching a different team today than I did the past 2 days. And then you're talking about Seiya Suzuki's bat. And then Mo Baller comes up finally, right? Everyone's calling for Mo Baller. He gets an at-bat. He's up 2-0 against their closer, who, by the way, is wild. He cannot find the zone. And Mo Baller swings at a ball at 2-0 that was either a ball or a very borderline strike.
Yeah, he didn't throw a strike to the first 2 batters.
Yeah, and so he flies out. That changes the whole inning because now he continues to be wild, but we don't have Mo Baller at first base. It's just little stuff like that in a 3-1 game will kill you, and it did. It killed us.
Our best players didn't play well.
Right.
That's true. Contreras had some big moments for them.
Yeah.
Right? Peralta had a good game. We got Boyd the second time around, but the first time didn't go well. I'm not even blaming it for it. I'm just saying he didn't pitch well the first game. Shota didn't pitch well. And
couldn't use him, by the way. Couldn't use him in this game. Not saying that it would have mattered.
No, they warmed him up, but
it is what it is. Yeah.
I saw a comment that says, imagine not pitching Shota because he gives up home runs, only to go out and give up 3 solo bombs.
Right.
It's true. Our pitching staff did give up 3. They were solo bombs, but it is, right there. No, it's okay. But, I mean, it's a good point. We didn't want Shota pitching because he gives up the home run. Unfortunately, we gave up home runs anyway.
Yeah, my guy Sean Graves on the text thread. Tucker, Happ, Kelly, Swanson, 1 for 14, 7 Ks.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Tail of the tape.
You know what that reminds? That reminds me of 07-08 when the good guys just couldn't get
it's Dodgers.
And they relied a little bit too much on the home run.
Yeah.
The frustrating part about this 2025 finish is that this isn't the way they played when they were the best team in baseball early in the season, the first half of the season. And I know that feels like a long time ago, but this team showed that they could score runs in other ways. But when push came to shove, they reverted back to this again late in the season. And I know some of it had to do with injuries, but not all of it. The way they lost this series was a sample size that was much bigger than just 5 games.
Yeah, it was. But I will say, I mean,
offensively at least.
Bookend it. Milwaukee won game 1 and 2 and game 5. But, man, we looked dominant 3 and 4. I mean, it wasn't like they just swept us or dominated us. It's unfortunate that that same team that played at Wrigley on Wednesday and Thursday isn't the same team that we saw tonight, and they're going home because of it.
What do you think cost the Cubs in this series? Answer that in the chat. What if you had to pick one thing What cost the Cubs winning this Game 5 or 5-game series against the Brewers? Let us know what you think. We'll check out those comments. First, a word from our sponsors.
Hey Cubs fans, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Listen, they got the RAV4. It has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-size third row is for real, and the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. Job sites, campsites, game nights, it doesn't matter. There's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. So find yours right now at Toyota.com or visit your Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And Luke, what a better time than right now to become a diehard.
Yep.
Bears season in full swing. You can become a CHGO diehard today and get exclusive written content with Adam Johns, Patrick Norton, all the wonderful things. Jared Wyllys at our site. You can get a free t-shirt, plenty of discounts on future merch and events, plus access to our CHGO Discord lounge where we all hang out. We just talk Chicago sports and so much more. So go to allchgo.com right now for the latest information on how you can join the thousands of CHGO diehards in our community. We simply cannot wait to connect with you on an even greater level.
Winter's almost here. I almost turned on the furnace the other day. Is your home's heating up for the challenge? At Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Check out these offers. Save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Furnaces start at $39 a month and furnace AC combos at $57 a month. Call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving the community of Chicagoland area for more than 50 years. Trust your local experts. Visit Four Seasons HeatingCooling.com for all their special offers right now and money-saving coupons. That is Four Seasons HeatingCooling.com. Don't get left out in the cold.
Ooh.
Cubs lose 3-1. The offseason begins as the Brewers win in 5 and go on to face the Dodgers now in the NLCS. Cubs return, though, to the postseason this year. I asked before the break what was the reason the Cubs lost. One reason. We'll get to some of those responses, but first we want to get to all these super chats that have been piling up on us. KM for a hundo, $99.99. KM with a super chat. Thanks, guys, for CHGO and watching you all year. Appreciate all the work you do. KM, thank you for sticking with us.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for your support. And, wow, thanks for $100. Who
really
else we got?
nice.
Our guy Steven's always in on the super chats. Steven for $5. Next season, this team is probably going back to meddling 500 team, and in 2027, there'll be no baseball, so enjoy the season, fans.
Could you get any more negative?
Yeah, cancel Christmas? What is this?
Wow.
Steven likes to get negative sometimes.
Really?
And then for another $5, he throws in Shaw and PCA better work their ass off this offseason.
Okay, I can co-sign that.
Yeah.
Not the first one, though.
Yanzira with a super chat. The fact you guys were able to force a Game 5 is something to be proud of. Your team showed fight. As a Sox fan myself, I would have been proud if my team had avoided 100 losses.
But why did you get rid of Andrew Vaughn? Why did you do
Writer
that?
side. Yeah, could you held on to Andrew Vaughn?
Jeez. Killed us.
Unbelievable that
I like that perspective.
I didn't hear who the MVP was, but he's got to be high on that list.
They were
right?
interviewing him. We don't have audio, so I
Probably
I'm
Andrew
sure that was a
Vaughn.
riveting
think so.
interview.
Unfunny with a $2 super chat from probably Milwaukee saying, remember to pay your tolls on the way home, Cubbies. We'll see you for 2 Packer losses.
I didn't find that funny at all.
96776, $9.99 from Matty Beard. I'm annoyed. I wanted to see them really fight for it. I did not see the fight in them, but it was better season than recent years. Let's let the offseason CHGO podcast roll. I'll be listening. Thank you, Matty Beard. Thanks for sticking with us.
Well, it's the best season in like 7 years. So, yeah.
Night
good.
6776 says, too many old pitchers. Where are the young guns, Jed?
Well,
Fair.
That
yeah.
might be addressed here in the
Yeah.
plenty of off-season shows. And Coldest Jenkins says, I don't think the Cubs should re-sign Kyle Tucker. He may be 2000's Ken Griffey Jr. all over again.
Interesting.
I don't think he's ever going to be Ken Griffey Jr.
No, I
That's what
agree.
think.
Griffey had some pretty good years in Cincinnati. I
I'll
know
give
he
you
was
guys
hurt,
a
but-
hot take. My hot take right out the gate. I think we've seen Kyle Tucker's last at bat as a Cub.
I probably agree with that. I know that Passan going into the offseason was saying the Cubs are still he thought the Cubs were the front runner and
Right.
that the number might be coming back more towards the Cubs because the way it played out.
And a short term is getting into the mix.
It's hard to figure out what that number is because you can see how talented and what a difference he made in the first half of the season when he was playing great. But he's had a lot of injuries the last 2 years, and is that something you want to invest in?
Right.
And hurt or not, he was healthy enough to play in the postseason and didn't deliver.
And I mean, and let's go down to the final game, final 2 at bats. Had a chance to really, really save the season and twice failed at it and wasn't competitive either at bat. I don't know. I'm done.
Well, so, I'm not ready.
We're not done with Tucker yet.
No, I'm not ready, and I'm not ready to answer it. But I will say to your guys' point, and it's something for Cubs fans to kind of chew on and think about, is that when you start to kind of look at this postseason as a whole from an offensive lineup perspective, right? And you roll it back even to the regular season. Think of who the most consistent guys in this offensive lineup were all postseason. It was Michael Busch and Nico Hoerner. Can we all agree on that?
1,000%.
Were they all consistent during the regular season? Would we all say that their arrow's pointing up?
Yes.
I would say so. Now, Seiya Suzuki is a little bit of a different story. He struggled in the second half, but I don't think any of us would all disagree that Seiya Suzuki is an incredibly talented, borderline all-star hitter. I think he showed up in the postseason. That was great to see.
1,000%.
I'm going to put Matt Shaw and PCA over here because I know PCA had a great first half, but these are incredibly young players that I think are going to continue to develop at a certain level. And I think big things are coming for PCA next year, and I hope more progress comes from Matt Shaw. So I'm not going to say I'm going to give him a pass, but the fact that they're ineffective in the postseason, I'm not going to flip my lid on it, right?
And you're right, but Matt Shaw's defense has always been good, regular season and postseason.
And it's just going to get better.
Yep.
Just going to get better.
Yep.
The guys that I'm kind of circling on this one are Ian Happ, Carson Kelly, and Dansby Swanson. These are guys that were very, very polarizing during the regular season. These are guys that have had ups and downs. These are guys whose numbers are strikingly similar. 240-ish average, 17 to 20-something home runs, 60 to 80-ish RBIs. And I'm not here to knock those guys with my point right now, but those guys, those three specifically, you take away Carson Kelly's home run, he basically did nothing in the postseason. By and large. You take away Ian Happ's home run the other day, what were we talking about?
Yeah.
Bench Ian Happ. Did not have a good night tonight. Those were glue guys and foundation guys that really needed to add up to make a difference in the postseason. And then finally, the one guy that I'm leaving out, who was supposed to be, the king on the chessboard, Kyle Tucker. And Kyle Tucker got on base, and I think we'll look at his average and we'll say, okay, but Luke, would you say that he was a difference maker in this postseason?
No, he didn't have the impact. He didn't have a superstar impact at all.
No.
He barely had a average impact, an average player's impact on the postseason. The one guy you mentioned, Carson Kelly, that was polarizing the season, he's the one guy I kind of leave off of this because I feel like we were playing with house money with Carson Kelly.
Absolutely, sure.
He exceeded all kinds of projections in the year. Was he good in the postseason? No.
Yeah.
No, but he was really not here to be a problem solver. It was supposed to be Amaya's season.
Yep.
Anyway, this guy's supposed to be your second catcher.
Right.
Not a guy that you're counting on to deliver a postseason series win. So I'm not hanging anything on Carson Kelly. Happ, at least he was a major player in a major win.
One at bat. Really,
one at bat. One at bat.
The one guy you mentioned that I kind of want to push back a little bit on was Dansby Swanson, because the first series, Swanson made a gigantic impact with his defense. So and had a couple of hits too. Right. So I agree he didn't really show up in this series that I can remember, but against the Padres, we don't win that series without Dansby Swanson.
Right, but what's the theme of what we're talking about? We're talking about offense.
Yeah.
They didn't score they didn't score tonight. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's so disappointing. I'm with you full step that there's a lot of components of this team that I like a whole lot. Defense, them being especially one of them. And I'm not going to move away from, I think Dansby Swanson officially is a Cub in my opinion, because I will always look back on that wild card round fondly. But if you're trying to sort of pick apart, where did we go wrong or where did we fall short and where do we maybe need to improve? Where do we need to improve is yet to be seen. Where do we fell a little short though was offensively, and some of it was some of those more middle of the road guys on offense. And Kyle Tucker, a guy who's supposed to be a huge difference maker, that I get it, he wasn't 100%, but you just can't pull away from the fact that, he just didn't show up the way that he had at times in the first half of the season and the regular season.
Let me add one more thing. Ian Happ has a no trade clause. He's not going anywhere.
Seiya does too.
But I I don't think I want to get rid of Seiya, right? Seiya showed you.
No, but everybody that wants change and wants to see Casey and Alcantara, and they want to make this big splash for Schwarber and all these other things, 2 of your outfield spots are locked.
Right.
Locked. Even if Tucker's gone, that means Seiya's playing right field.
Yep.
Or DH, depending on.
I guess if you found someone that was better. But there aren't that many spots you're really going to adjust this team.
Right.
I wanted to compare this team to 2015. It's just not an apples to apples comparison.
It's not.
The run was the run felt a little similar, like you were building something. This was the first after a lot of losing, so in that way they were similar. But I don't know if it's exactly the same.
It's not, but the optimistic part of me says, what was that 2015 team like? A lot of young guns, right? You had Rizzo, Bryant, Baez, Russell. Well, we have a lot of young guns as well with PCA, with Shaw, with Cade Horton. I'd argue Owen Casey's going to play in there. So we have some young guns that are ready to play and ready to really contribute. And it's time to kind of like accessorize them with the superstars. And that's exactly what we thought we were doing with Kyle Tucker this offseason. You thought you were getting this big superstar to help the young guys. And it worked out for I don't want to take away for 2 months. Kyle Tucker was phenomenal. And this offense was going crazy because of it. You had Tucker, PCA, and Seiya firing on all cylinders. But all we got were 2 months of them. And then it was never the same.
Well, that's what's going to be so difficult, right? And unfortunately, Kyle Tucker's made it difficult on Cubs fans and probably the market, and even what his near future is going to look like. Is that what are you investing in, and what are you banking on? Are you banking on the first 2 months of Kyle Tucker, or are you banking on honestly the last July, August, September, parts of October, 3 and some change month of Kyle Tucker? And that's going to be the calculus that Jed's going to have to put into play. And look, we saw it with our very eyes, the potential of what this lineup can look like as it grows and gets better. And that's going to be a huge question because I don't know. I don't have an answer right now. We just lost like 25 minutes ago, right? But like, I don't know if it's like a full overhaul of the lineup that it's going to take, right? It might a slight augmentation. I have one idea where I would like to see the Chicago Cubs get a lot better at, but I don't think it was the reason why it cost them this series. So a lot of questions when it comes to Kyle Tucker moving forward.
Not just Kyle Tucker, a lot of questions, period. But the 2015 thing that I'm going back to, and everybody's like, well, not nearly as talented. Think about if Justin Steele isn't hurt on this team.
Right.
Yeah.
Think if Horton's not hurt. Now, I know you can say that every season. Teams can look back. Woodruff wasn't here in this series. But you are stacked in the rotation if Horton emerges like this and you have Steele. Because guys like Boyd aren't as tired at the end of the season.
Or Boyd pitches tonight. Literally.
Yeah. Tyone really stepped up for you this year. Unquestionably his best season. So there are some things to be, and I still would say add more pitching, obviously. That's what I would do. I would take the Tucker money and actually, even though the defense, or even though the offense was the problem in this series, I would even go heavier into the pitching. I still would go heavier into the pitching.
I agree. The money you'd be spending on Kyle Tucker when you also be blocking Owen Casey and Alcantara and whatever, or Mo Baller if you want to put him at DH, that money would best be served. Isn't Freddie Peralta a free agent? Dylan Cease is a free agent. You could go out and get another stud, if not two. I agree. I think you just load up on the pitching staff. That money would be better well spent, I think, than giving tons of it to Kyle Tucker, and it was extremely underwhelming.
Yeah, and when you talk about what they're going to do moving forward, let's also not forget, like that Kyle Tucker money comes off the books, right? That means they're even further under the luxury tax or whatever the threshold is. Like, the Chicago Cubs are going to have some decisions to make about where they're going to spend their money. If we want to sit here in the here and now, I have to look at it specifically, but I do think one of the first priorities is probably getting together with Michael Busch and trying to figure something out, like post-haste, about trying to get him locked up. The second one might also be like, do you want to bring Brad Keller back? And what does that look like? So there's a lot of where they can allocate their dollars, but I'm with you guys both that, like, top of the line starting pitching, that's probably where I would trend right now in terms of my shopping list with the Chicago Cubs.
Would you pay Kyle Tucker whatever the price is in the offseason? Tell us what you think in the live YouTube chat. But first, a word from our sponsors.
All right, Chicago sports fans, if you're looking for the spot to catch your favorite games this season, we've got a place that checks all the boxes. It's chef-driven. They have elevated bar food that's locally inspired, and they've got the best smash burger and tavern-style pizza around. It's absolutely amazing, and it's not just about the food, though. They offer tons of games, pool, darts, big buck hunter, shuffleboard, and more. That's right, it's Almost Home Tavern. Wall-to-wall TVs, perfect for watching literally any sport, and the owners, CHGO diehard members and massive Bears fans. So yes, the Bears are always repped incredibly hard. They've even got a covered beer garden with TVs, so inside, outside, doesn't matter. So you're not missing a thing, rain or shine. It's just a block north of Wrigley Field, so it's the ideal pregame, during game, and post-game Cubs spot. Daily specials and happy hours that's actually worth your time. So go check it out right now. Head on over to Almost Home. Tell them CHGO sent you, and they will say, hey, I'm also a CHGO diehard. Almost Home Tavern.
Fall's here, crisp air, football, maybe a bonfire or two, but if you're like most guys, you're still putting in that hard work, and yeah, that means sweat.
Woo.
Don't let body odor sideline you. You know the feeling. It's game day. You've been working hard all week. Your lucky jersey might be smelling a little too lucky. Let's be honest, a regular deodorant doesn't just cut it after a long day. Here's the real game changer. Mando deodorant plus sweat control. Not just another cover-up. Mando is one stick, two jobs. Powerful odor and sweat control. One swipe, you're good to go. This is a deodorant that's been re-engineered to stop odor before it starts. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. What you want to do is use the code CHGO at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. Shopmando.com, plus support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to stinkiness. All right, Cubs lose 3-1. Disappointing Game 5 up in Milwaukee. They had just 4 hits in the game. They had 8 strikeouts and 3 solo home runs. Isn't it funny that we talked about the home runs going into the series, and that was the place in the Padres series? The Padres had the advantage in the bullpen. Didn't make a difference. We said the Cubs had the advantage in home runs, that the Brewers were the last team left that didn't have slug. And there it is. The Brewers win Game 2 with all 2-out home runs. And they win decisive Game 5 with all 2-out solo home runs.
It's crazy. It's like they heard our show and they did the opposite of what we predicted. Because, yeah, they were very low on the totem pole when it comes to slug and home runs. And today, their offense came 100% from home runs.
I was just going to say, and just really quick, we were just talking about our offense and who's important and all that stuff. Like William Contreras, really important to the Brewers lineup. Guess what he did tonight? He went yard. Andrew Vaughn, incredibly important to the historic surge that they had in the second half. Guess what he did? He went yard tonight. So, sometimes like the big boys have to show up in the big moments. I know that's a little cliche, but that literally is what happened tonight. And the Chicago Cubs did not have that happen.
They won a game the way the Cubs have won some games this year.
They beat us the way that we beat the Padres in Game 1, right? That's pretty much it.
That's it. Hard to watch sometimes. Hard to watch when you get beat that way, because I'll still say it. I think I thought all season the Cubs were actually a better team, but they were players short. They were players short. You can't say that they had, at the trade deadline went by, and you can say, well, they did the right thing. The Padres are out, and they beat a Padre team that went all in.
Yeah.
But the Cubs were arm short, and the Cubs were a hitter short. Whether that was Bregman in the offseason, whatever you think about those decisions, not getting another starter, maybe that could have been Flaherty going into the season, and then you're not hurt as much by stuff, and your lead's even bigger before the Brewers go on that. So anyways, I want to go back to the Kyle Tucker stuff. I asked in the chat what you in the chat thought about re-signing Kyle Tucker. What would the price be? If the price was right, would you do it? Cody says,
are these TVMA a little bit? Some of these are pretty brutal.
Jepper says, I wouldn't let Kyle Tucker put on a Cubs uniform if he offered to play for free.
Best comment of the night.
That was Sarah. From Sarah, by the way.
Cody Pearson, on the other hand,
That's all I have
$100
to
million
say.
he'd give to Tucker.
10
Chipperati
years?
says no Tucker. Kobe Live 24, please don't sign Tucker back. Calvin says Tucker getting injured isn't the biggest issue. It's his inability to recover in a timely way and not being willing to sit to do so.
That's a very fair point because I think we can all agree the first injury this season, he handled it horribly, and so did we. Like somebody somewhere somehow messed that up completely. And then we didn't learn our lesson the second time around.
No.
And yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. I think Kyle Tucker is a very talented baseball player. The back of his baseball card will tell you that. But I think that is a great comment by Calvin because the way he handled the injury both times and our organization was horrible.
Dave's comment was no chance. He's not worth $30 million.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I understand people in the chat. And look, I know everyone wants to put a number on this stuff, and it's otherworldly money. I totally understand that. And I'm not asking for someone to come up with an answer to what I'm about to say right now on the spot here tonight because we got plenty of time to think about it. But for everyone out there that no longer wants Kyle Tucker on this team, what's the plan? What's the plan? How are you replacing him? What's the idea here? And look, I don't want to poop all over like our prospects, right? I hope that they're young players and they come up and they do great. Like I'm rooting for Owen Casey, I'm rooting for Calvin.
They got a snort out of Emma over there.
It's that time of night. All right. I'm not here to drop trowel, all right, and drop a deuce on our young guys, all right. But here's what I will just say, okay, is that I really like this team, and I'm in the mode right now where I want this team to take the next step forward deeper into October. And I get really concerned or I get kind of hesitant sometimes when people are like, just play the young kids all the time because sometimes what ends up happening, Justin, is like, let's say Owen Casey comes up and he's our right fielder next year.
Right.
And let's say he's got these great flashes. And what if he has a year like PCA and Matt Shaw? And what if he's not exactly ready, but in 2 or 3 years he's going to be ready? We just kind of keep playing the string out of like, well, when this guy gets good, then we'll be ready. When this guy gets good, we'll be ready. Well, then by then we'll need a new shortstop. By then we'll need a new left fielder.
Right.
By then we'll need a whole new rotation. So just my thing with the Kyle Tucker, and even if it isn't Kyle Tucker, I'm cool with that. Just who is it going to be? Because it has to be someone. Because I feel like, Justin, we're one step away.
Right.
I feel like we're a piece or two away from being a legitimate deep into October World Series contender. So I don't know the answer to it either.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
The homer in me has a proposition for you.
Yeah, okay.
Would you rather sign Kyle Tucker for whatever the market value is, what you can get him for?
Uh-huh.
Higher upside, 5-4 tool player, or would you rather sign someone like Kyle Schwarber and stick him at your DH for the next 4 years?
Now, see, like I'm open to that because you just provided a solution, right? Like you have, like I know people in the chat are like, just get rid of Tucker. I never want to see him again. If your idea or the solution to that is Kyle Schwarber, wildly open to that, right? Absolute Cubs legend. Even if the dude doesn't hit 56 home runs next year for us,
he will.
But if he only hits 38, guess what? He's the team leader in home runs, right? He solves a lot of problems in our lineup. So I just want to be like, when we try and like, we want to bag on some of these players. I get it. You don't want Kyle Tucker back, but we have to start getting solutions-oriented, even as Cubs fans, to demand and mandate that, look, we are getting close, but we got to be one step away, and that one step away needs to be serious. And I just don't know if that means like starting a rotation with young players in the right field, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, when they were playing well and it was Tucker and Busch from the left side, right-handed pitchers had to be scared of that lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be scared of that lineup for sure. And then PCA was also in there, and he started hitting home runs. And now you were like, whoa, right-handers, this is a tough lineup.
Yeah.
But you still had Seiya from the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dansby. So I'm not – the Schwarber thing, we're going to get into it in the offseason. I also saw him crying in his postseason press conference with the Phillies.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure he's leaving Philadelphia, okay?
He also cried leaving Chicago, though, too.
He did.
Home is where the heart is.
If you
'Cause he's
ask me
awesome.
right now,
Yeah.
would I rather have Tucker on the team for the Cubs or would I rather have Schwarber? Instantly, I would say Schwarber, but that part of that is emotional. Like Schwarber's he might be one of my 3 favorite Cubs of all time.
Yeah.
Well, and in the game of clutch, I don't even think it's not even a conversation. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, countless times on different teams, in different situations, has shown a propensity to hit dingers, countless dingers deep into the October night.
He's going to hit more home runs than Kyle Tucker no matter what happens. Right. Even if Tucker bounces back and has a terrific season, he's not hitting what Schwarber will hit.
Well, let's forget, too, Seiya Suzuki had a big problem with only being a DH. He didn't like that, right? So you sign someone like Schwarber, okay, Seiya, right field's yours.
Well, Tucker wasn't as good defensively as I
agreed.
thought he was going to be.
I think we all agree that it wasn't quite as advertised. And, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, the only thing I would say with Seiya Suzuki being upset he had to play DH was he played a career-high 150 games, had a career-high in home runs and RBIs, and you can't help but feel like that maybe him staying off of his feet in right field might have helped that out a little bit. He's had problems with obliques and quads and all sorts of stuff. So, I understand that maybe it didn't make him happy, but maybe it was the kind of medicine that he needed to have in the career year that he had.
Oh, man. I hate that we lost.
I know. It's like we go round and round. It's and another thing. I know.
I'm trying my best to just give great questions. But it's like the fan in me, I'm really, really, really depressed and sad that we lost tonight. Do I think we were going to win the World Series? No, probably not. But I wanted just to advance to the next round, And yes, we'd be major underdogs against the Dodgers, but just knowing that we beat the Padres in a series and then we beat the Brewers in a series, that would have been easier for me to swallow than getting bounced by the Brewers. That hurts.
There are so many questions. Let's go back to the Toyota Super Chats because there are a bunch of them still in there. BPG $4.99. Kyle Tucker, welcome to the White Sox.
I don't know about that.
I know Jim Cook's been pushing for that.
Schwarber wanted to sign with the Sox. Sox said no.
Keegan Parker says, found you guys after the Game 2 loss and have watched the watch-along since. It's nice to watch a game with someone like-minded. We appreciate that.
Thank you,
cool, Keegan. Stick around for the offseason, man.
Steven's back with a $2 ad. Brewers are thriving without Counsell. A red flag.
That's a good point.
It is, but
did Counsell check enough boxes for you?
Come back to me if they beat the Dodgers and actually get to the World Series.
Well, Luke, they beat us, right? So Counsell left.
Yes, I know they did, but
he left 2 seasons ago, and the Brewers have won the division both those seasons. We missed the playoffs last year, and now we made it. But then his old ball club beats us. Listen, I'm all for Craig Counsell. I am a Counsell fan. I'm just saying with the whole super chat there, he left and they didn't really miss a beat, right?
And he had some things that we questioned in the postseason.
Yeah, we don't need to do a whole thing, but did he 92-win regular season, made the playoffs, 4-5 playoff record now, heading into what is going to be his 3rd season now with the Chicago Cubs. This season, did Craig Counsell, what kind of boxes did he check for you on maybe the optimism side, if any, or maybe if there's also a box you want to see him check that you still are kind of wanting more from him?
Well, I want him to beat the Brewers. That's the first check I want. I want the division back.
Empty box? Mm-hmm. No check.
Yeah, I want the division back. That's the first one I want back. Then I want the young players developing. Then I want all those other things. And so some of them are, I'd say young players are developing. He's been working some guys along. Has it been perfect? No. Has it been worth $8 million? I don't know. I don't know if the roster they gave him was right either, but probably not. Probably is he worth being the highest paid manager in baseball? Well, he didn't put him over in everything equal in a game 5 or in a 5-game series. He didn't put him over his mentor.
Right.
But that will be a whole off-season podcast.
His mentee,
maybe 2 or 3.
His mentee, right? Wasn't he the big dog? Craig Counsell was the big dog, right?
He was, but he played for him at Notre Dame.
Yeah, he did. Right.
So it's like,
it does hurt when you're you go back to the day when we all get the tweet or whatever, and we're like, the Cubs are doing what?
Yeah.
The Cubs are firing David Ross?
Yeah.
Right.
And wait, they stole away Craig Counsell? What does this mean? Does this give us...
I would say they're not even in the playoffs still with Ross managing. I think that was going to be
probably. And I'm willing to give Craig Counsell a pass for last year. His first year, maybe not his personnel, whatever. This was the year I felt like Counsell's hands were all over this team.
That's a great point. 100%.
And they win 92 games, great, but they got bounced by his former team and his former bench coach.
That hurts.
All right, we have to take another break. We're going to still give out our Roman just in time, our Joey's crystal ball, and our Stuck With Me. We'll also give out our 3 stars of the offseason, and we'll read your chats, including more Toyota Super Chats. But first, a word from our sponsors. New vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and this is your chance to score a great deal at the Drive into Fall event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months available on new models. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. And with that friendly team of brand experts, the team at Ray CDJR will help you during each step of your car shopping journey. And with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently. No add-ons, no hidden fees ever. The price you see is the price you pay. Go to our partner today to shop one of the area's largest inventories and find the right vehicle for you. Don't miss out on the Drive into Fall event for huge savings on new models. More information at Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online, raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963.
And you know the feeling, Chicago sports fans. Last second, you got a hankering. You want to go to the game. You want to go and get last-minute tickets. Well, the Game Time app, it finally gives the advantage back to the fans. It is the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust that you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Fees are always included, which is great because what you see is what you pay. There's amazing deals for concerts, Bears tickets, whatever it is. You can find it. Easy to find tickets and tickets for every event in your area. Views from all seats in the venue. They got the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, all the good stuff, and they give you seat views. So you get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy. Your purchase is also covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets or any tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Create an account, CHGO, $20 off, tap ticket, go.
Cubs lose 3-1. Big shout out to our friends at Portillo's who hooked us up all off-season long.
Oh, let's look at the journey.
They heard about the rally cake
There
in
truly
game
is
one.
a journey. Every day I added more and more photos.
These are the
All
days.
said and done, I think I finished with about 25. 25 pieces of cake.
Oh man, and honestly, the rally case they kept working. So
They did.
Yeah.
Props to Portillo's. It could have been like a one-game fluke. They did it for like a little publicity. They did it all postseason long for us, and we couldn't be more thankful. Thank you, Portillo's.
Our next off-season show will be the three of us on a treadmill.
Yes.
But other than that,
Everything was good, though. The
Unbelievable.
burgers were good.
Yeah.
The chicken sandwich
Oh,
was good. The beefs were elite.
beefs were key.
Onion rings.
Oh, the onion rings were
Hey,
the
it's Beef Man.
surpriser.
There's a beef man sighting.
Beef Man was here. I would say that the other thing
Here's
that's
my
great.
dog.
Oh, there's your dog.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with him tonight when I get home for a while.
The cakes,
Cuddle sesh.
the consistency of the
Yeah.
quality. It's like you don't get one where you're like, well, that one was a little dry, or that
yeah.
one didn't have enough
No,
frosting.
never.
They got it down. They got it down to a science.
They've got it down to a science. Every beef is perfect. Every
Yes.
cake is perfect. though.
Agreed.
Thank you to Portillo's. Do we have more Toyota Super Chats before we get to some of this stuff? Ramon, 1987 for $4.99. Thank you for all your wonderful 2025. My favorite Cubs podcast. Appreciate that. From a friend you have never met. Blessings to you all. Ramon,
Thank
well,
you,
let's meet,
Ramon.
man. Thanks for all your support throughout the season, Ramon. Ryan,
That's
are
cool.
there any White Sox we can trade for? Seems to have worked for the Brewers and everyone else. And Catone, $4.99. I love Kyle Tucker on this team. Some guys just don't fit on certain teams. I wouldn't say he didn't fit. He was hurt too much.
He fits perfectly as the right fielder. Had he been the guy we thought we were getting, he would have fit perfect in right field. Just didn't work
Had he
out.
not been hurt, he might have.
I mean,
If the finger doesn't start throwing, I don't know. It's a huge what if.
he was through the month of June. He was Reggie Jackson. He was the straw that stirs the drink of this lineup, right? And I mean, it's tough when in baseball you can't just tie it back to one player. But again, we just go back to when Kyle Tucker was right. He was his offense, his presence, him getting on base permeated throughout this entire lineup that allowed other players to be at their best. I'm not going to say it's a direct correlation, but I don't know if it's an exact coincidence that when things went south for Kyle Tucker, things kind of went south for Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things kind of went south for PCA. And they had to go through their struggles and try and rebound the best they can. I mean, man, it's just, Justin, it's so strange that, like, when we got him, when we traded for him, I mean, I don't know about you, but I just thought he was like this steady Eddie, cool as a cucumber, metronome, don't have to worry about it guy. But, man, this turned into such a crazy saga this year that it almost makes me think that did so much happen that we got exposed to a point where now we just think this is the Kyle Tucker all the time, when did so many things weird and out of whack happen that perhaps are we overthinking this? Yeah. And maybe Kyle Tucker is that boring, amazing baseball player we thought he was in the beginning.
Well, we traded for him and we were told he was a top 10 hitter in baseball, right?
Yes.
And, the stats back that up. He was a really, really good hitter. It was probably the worst season Kyle and the Cubs could have asked for. For 2 months, it was great.
Yeah.
But, he got booed at Wrigley Field for not running out to first. I mean, so many things went wrong in this marriage. And by the way, it ended with a chance for him to win the game or tie the game twice, and both times were very, very poor at bats. So it started great, sure. In the middle, it was bad. You had a sign, bad again, and it ended pretty horrible.
I think it will end, but I will also say I will miss the milking of the cow.
Yeah, milking of the cow.
I was also going to ask you, Luke, if you could power rank the past Taylor Swift relationships of other guys. This wasn't Taylor and Travis, right? This was this Taylor and the dude from the 1975?
Yeah.
Where did this land? Because you're right, man. It got strangely dramatic, and it was a roller coaster. And I think Cubs fans that are so passionate, I think they're kind of responding to that up and down nature of being so high up on a guy. Extend Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
Give him $1 billion. I'll give him whatever he wants to. Is he hurt? Is he bad? Wait, no, maybe he's just hurt. And then he comes back and then gets hurt again. Oh, he's going to be ready for the playoffs. Our hero is returned. Can he do something? Well, maybe he wasn't 100%. He clearly didn't deliver. He did fine, but he wasn't a difference maker. And that swing of emotions can be tough on a sports fan. And maybe that's what Cubs fans are dealing with right now, where maybe something in the middle is more of who Kyle Tucker is. And that's just, it's interesting to see how the market is going to play all that out.
Yep. All right. We had one more super chat come in, and then I want to get to Romans just in time. Cyrus says, okay, I'm a Brewers fan, but fun series. Good luck in 26.
Thank you,
I
Cyrus.
can't say good luck against the Dodgers.
Thank you,
But thank
Cyrus.
you, Cyrus. We appreciate that.
You beat us. You beat us fair and square, man.
One
we talk
funky
mess. We don't
about
like you, but you beat us fair and square,
one
dude.
funky stat I want to throw at you guys that the Brewers don't have a chance. The Brewers did go 6-0 against the Dodgers this year, right?
Cubs did pretty well against the Dodgers, didn't they? After
Split,
Tokyo,
4-3 maybe it was?
Yeah. No, they played him pretty well.
How'd they do against the Brewers?
Yeah.
The Brewers went 6-0 against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It was different. Different Dodger team, regular season versus postseason.
We'll see.
But
I'm going to expect the Dodgers in the World Series
I do
against.
too.
Yeah, no Woodruff versus the Dodgers.
I do too.
They might be a little short, but
All right,
we'll see.
it is time for Romans just in time.
Now, mind you, this is probably the hardest Romans just in time I have to give because not a lot of good things happened today. All right. I'm going to go with, high expectations failed. Cubs slumping, all these things go on, but the one consistent today, the entire postseason, and the entire season was Nico Hoerner. For a Cubs team in 2025 that was up, it was down, it was up, it was down, Nico Hoerner provided the most consistency, professional at-bats, doing the right thing, moving guys over, playing hard, stealing bases, gold glove defense, screaming, rounding third as he's about to score, passion. Nico Hoerner was just in time for me. And I would say, we talked a little earlier about, off season. I would say extending Nico Hoerner should be high on Jed's list because this is the guy you want young players to model their game after because he plays the game the right way.
All right, I like that. I like the Nico Hoerner part of it. Now it is time for Joey's Cristobal.
Okay. Oh, God. I hated the fact that I had to think about this on the
Same.
drive over if they lost, right?
Same,
I
right.
had, the one that I had primed if they won. Oh, boy, we'll never hear it. We'll never see it. Anyways, okay, here we go. So the easiest way for me to think about this, and I'm just coming from this from a Cubs fan perspective, and I mean this sincerely and as authentically as I can, that I do want to, I want to thank in many ways, I mean, I know we can kind of like bemoan all the little stuff and spend more money and stuff, but I do want to thank like Tom and Jed Hoyer, and especially Jed Hoyer, for putting together a really solid team this year that won 92 games. And it makes me think about, now this is an anecdote that he has kind of walked back, but a story that he's told. This guy named David Sampson. This guy named David Sampson once told this anecdote about him sitting in an office with Jerry Reinsdorf. And Jerry Reinsdorf says, you want to know what the key is to mediocrity? He says, get just good enough where you always make your fan base feel like that you are one step away. If you always make your fan base feel like that you are one step away, you got them right where you want them. And what I'm just pleading to and begging Jed and Tom, the Cubs, the front office, all that stuff, is that I really do believe as a Cubs fan, we are one step away. But don't do it the way that Jerry Reinsdorf is thinking about it, or maybe some other owners are thinking about it, of maybe trying to go around the fringes and maybe slightly augment. We really do have an opportunity to have another special team here on the north side, a team that not only can compete and win the division, but again, go deeper in the playoffs, compete with those Dodgers, and win that World Series. I'm not telling you to spend like the Dodgers. You don't even need to. We're already so close, all right? We just need you to get serious and push your chips in a little bit further into the offseason. I don't know what that looks like. I don't have all the answers. But as a Cubs fan right now, I am begging you. I understand that there's labor strife coming in the next couple of years. You guys know probably way more about it than I probably do. And maybe there's stuff that coming down to the pipe that I don't even understand. But next year in 2026, the Chicago Cubs have a great opportunity to wrap their arms around not only the NL Central, but the National League, and maybe win the whole damn thing for the second time in 10 years. Next year is the 10-year anniversary of the 2016 World Series, something that wiped away 108 years of rain and tears, as Luke would say. We're one step away, guys. Please, 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 I'm begging you, just this one time. You can do whatever you want after that, but get us one more. We are so close. Push those chips in, and we know we're right where we're fans. You got us right where you want us with that one step away, but be serious and do it for us, do it for Wrigleyville, and then do whatever you want. Your legacy is already cemented, but you can further it even deeper in this city that is so desperate for a winner right now. Please, please, please take us that one more step this offseason.
Show me the money. Hey, they have laid a good foundation.
They have.
The foundation is there.
They've done a great job. I'm not complaining. I don't bemoan the way Godfather CHGO, or Godfather, whatever his name is, on the chat. Thank you for jumping in. We haven't seen him in a while.
And they have the finances to do it. I mean, they have the resources. They have a fan base that is psycho, that shows up. They have all you need to do it. They just have to do it.
And I know they care. Don't put that carrot out there if we're one step away and then fall short, and don't go all in on this group of guys. Just please don't.
We're still going to do our playoff stars. My final stuck with me for the 2025 regular season is this. You, the viewers at CHGO, stuck with us. And I really appreciate it. Like everybody that stuck with us from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. There's plenty of turmoil in between in the middle of the season. All of the people that were still in the chat at the end that supported with the super chats. Want to thank everybody that has been so great. Joey stepping up and coming in and doing just an awesome job. Justin coming in and stepping up and doing an awesome job. Sarah carried all of us, going above and beyond all season. Emma cranking out the social all season long. Jared Wyllys going to the ballpark and writing. We had sometimes it's behind the scenes too. Kevin Wells helping out, right? Like Kevin Wells helped out a lot. Corey Friedman, Brendan, of course. The
support
great
from
job
Jake
they
and
do.
Tony, all that stuff.
Really, thanks to everybody for sticking with us. We hope that this is just the beginning for CHGO Cubs. If you haven't found us until the very end here, we will be here all off season. And we hope you're going to tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger about the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. But we appreciate all the support we got, especially here in the postseason and throughout this fun run. I had a lot of fun with these guys and with Sarah.
We're just getting started. We're going to have a blast all winter, dude. I promise. I promise you guys. I promise.
And I might need to eat a few salads in the offseason.
Same. All of us. Hey, Portillo's is a great chopped salad, though.
Yeah. Oh, they do?
They do.
With spicy chicken,
throwing it out
some say?
there.
Oh, they got
Some say with
spicy
spicy
chicken, too.
We are
wanna
going to
shot-
go overtime, right?
Yeah, you guys want to go
I want to
overtime?
go overtime because I still want to do our Cubs 3 stars for the
Here,
postseason.
before we go overtime real quick, I want to shout out KM. If anyone wants to mail something to the CHGO, how do we do that? KM, reach out to our socials, either on Twitter, Instagram, DM us, and then we can give you those details privately.
Or I can send you my Venmo.
Or you can send the Venmo. All right, let's go into overtime.
It's coming to that.
We have another Toyota Super Chat. How surprised were you on the 2025 Brewers? Cyrus?
I was surprised.
75%. I thought the Brewers were a third-place team in this division.
Yeah.
I thought we'd get 2 playoff teams out of the division. I thought the Cubs would win it, and I thought the Reds would be the biggest challenge. Cubs and Reds and Brewers all made the postseason. But, first of all, the Brewers that we saw at the beginning of the season and even at the very end of the season are more the Brewers that I expected to see.
Same.
If the Cubs are healthy, I think they have a really good chance of winning that series and of being the division champs. Tip of the cap, I never saw that historic run coming out of the Brewers. I don't think anybody did. They played unbelievable baseball.
They did.
And that was the difference in the regular season. That was the difference in having home field advantage here in Game 5. So, yeah, I was shocked. How about we just we co-pick
Do like a draft? Or
our 3 stars of the postseason instead of each doing it, because I think there's going to be some overlap.
So we each do one?
Who do we agree? Yeah, you want to each do one?
Sure.
Yeah, you pick one. Justin, you start us out.
Of the postseason only?
Just the postseason.
I'm going to go...
We got a whole offseason to grade everybody.
Yeah. I'm going to go with... this would have been the easiest choice in the world, minus his huge error in the first game. I'm still going Nico Hoerner. I think he batted well over 400 in the postseason. Like I said in my Romans Just in Time, he was steady. Never too high, never too low, but he was steady. He did go on to make some great defensive plays, even after that miscue. I heard just kind of today it came out that he gave a speech before Game 3 to rile the troops up, and tell his teammates to do whatever it takes to get the crowd back involved, and that really helped for Game 3 and 4. So my playoff star of the postseason will be Nico Hoerner.
Luke, you go.
I would
I'll take the
say,
third one.
I was thinking about just how epic Matthew Boyd's start was, and I was trying to think if it was enough to overcome some struggles earlier. And I would have to say Michael Busch. Michael Busch, for me,
Is dangerous, officially.
is officially the player that other teams are worried about. Like the Brewers were worried about Michael Busch.
Yes.
They didn't want to give up homers to Michael Busch, and they give up homers to Michael Busch. This is a guy we're not even playing on an everyday basis.
Which we should from now on.
That has to stop next
Yes.
year.
Oh,
It
my
stops.
God.
That has to stop next year.
Agreed.
And so for me, Michael Busch, even though he had a really good rookie season for the Cubs a year ago, Michael Busch is the guy that had his coming out party. I thought that player was going to be PCA, but the struggles at the end deterred from that. Not that Busch had a perfect season. He was just big in the postseason too, and I think Major League Baseball has taken notice of the Cubs' first baseman. Guys, I know people were talking about 2015 and saying there's so much more talent in 2015. Michael Busch has hit more home runs than Rizzo did.
Ever did, right? Yeah.
So
Michael Busch set a record in the
They may
postseason
not-
for most home runs out of the leadoff spot.
yeah, they don't have an MVP. They don't have early Chris Bryant on
Right.
this team, and that's what they're still looking for. Could that be PCA on a delayed start? Maybe. We'll see. But for me, it was Michael Busch.
Good pick.
So I'm seeing some great ones here in the chat. I'm seeing Tyler. I'm seeing Tommy throwing out Jameson Taillon. I think that's a great selection.
Taillon's a real good
That's
one.
a really, really good one. I think
He's in my top 5.
By the way-
yeah, if there's a top 5, he's
Joey,
definitely in there.
I'm assuming by you calling him out right there, he's not your number 3. So I just want to say really fast, give Taillon his flowers, because 2 elimination games, and he came up big in both of them, right? I mean,
100%.
So Taillon, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Jameson Taillon deserves some votes. I see Daniel Palencia in there too as well. I got a
Yeah,
little something
that's
on
another one.
I got something on Daniel Palencia after I pick my guy, but I'm gonna go Seiya Suzuki, right? I mean, look, Seiya Suzuki was a mystery wrapped in a riddle for the last 2 months of the season. He walked into the All-Star break, tied for the National League lead in RBIs. I think it was at 72. And then there came a point in the year where we were like, dang, is he going to get to 100? And the thing that frustrates me about Seiya Suzuki is he's so talented, but sometimes his at-bats are so confusing and vexing. And he seems like such a good-natured person, and he seems like he really wants to do well. He seems like he loves being a Chicago Cub. And just to see him, first of all, he got hot with like 4 or 5 games left to go in the regular season, which was awesome
He got
to see.
scorching hot.
And not to go back to the regular season, but it was all fun, right? We had a great journey along this ride. Like, he absolutely pounded the Cardinals that weekend. We had an amazing banging 120 club that Friday, had an amazing time. And then for him to take that into the playoffs, be the guy that got it going with the first home run against the Padres. Be the guy that actually got it going against the Brewers, by hitting that 3-run bomb.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that honestly consistently, him and Michael Busch were the guys that were hitting the ball the hardest to all parts of the field. And tonight, what did he do? They get up 1-0, and thank God Seiya Suzuki at least was able to be that momentum neutralizer by taking one opposite field and going yards. So, I mean, look, I think, you know, Seiya Suzuki, he doesn't need to earn his stripes as a Chicago Cub or any of that kind of stuff because he's always been a really good offensive player. I just feel like in this playoffs, though, I think he really showed up in a way that makes me proud of him. Like, as a Cubs fan, makes me proud of him as a person, makes me proud to root for a guy like Seiya Suzuki. And I'd probably put him as my 3rd star right now.
I like all those. Palencia is another good one that people mentioned.
Yeah, the one
You're
really
right.
quick about Palencia is that we've been looking for a closer for forever in this town, and I get it that he didn't close games for us in the playoffs, but when you get those young pitchers, right, like we talked about it a lot, like when's the other shoe going to drop? Is the control going to go sideways? He's going good right now. Does it stay like this forever? I think for Cubs fans, we should be confident and excited about the future of Daniel Palencia on the Cubs, whether it is in the 9th inning or whether he's a dominant 8th inning setup guy. If we get some sort of closer, you know, whatever, trade or free agent, whatever it is, I think Daniel Palencia is here to stay. And I think he's a huge weapon in our bullpen, at least for next year. And we've been looking for that guy forever. It was Porter Hodge, then it could be Albert Alzolay. I think Daniel Palencia is the one that really is going to, I mean, he showed me a lot in this playoffs, coming in different situations, getting himself out of tough situations. I think he's got a bright future with the Cubs.
He put out a lot of fires this postseason.
He did.
Really
I was
did.
impressed.
Yeah.
Tommy throws out Wrigley Field fans in the top 5. That's hard to argue
off
against
the board,
because
but I love it.
I haven't heard this many people around the country when you listen to national radio talking about how crazy Wrigley Field was and what an advantage it was compared to other ballparks.
And they don't get another one.
Which, Luke, to your point, you know, didn't win the division, but wild card won. Well, you win the division, you have that extra game at Wrigley Field, and the fans are that much of a difference maker. You know, maybe this plays out differently, but we'll never know.
It's been fun. The offseason will be long with lots of twists and turns. What do you do about Shota? What do you do about Kyle Tucker? What do you do with your outfield? How do you fit new guys in? Is Keller? What do you do with Keller? Some of these guys you were surprised to get, and what will that story be for next year?
Because this bullpen,
have they played themselves? Are you going to have to find those players all over again?
Because this bullpen started off very different. We had Ryan Presley as our closer, guys. Like
Julian Merriweather,
right? So you know who's coming back? Who's the gem for next year? All those things. It's crazy how our bullpen became our strength, but our bullpen early on was horrible. It was bad.
Yeah, no, I mean credit, and you know what? It's tough because we came up short to a division rival, so it doesn't feel like right now the Chicago Cubs are good enough, right? That's what it feels like right now. And as a Cubs fan, you're like, I'm not good enough. No, you are. So stop it. You are good enough, and you're good enough to hang out with us, especially during the off-season shows. But no, you're right. I mean, like what they were able to do with a bullpen that has been a problem for many, many years, with an old, you know, the what was the book on Jed and Theo, honestly, is they didn't really ever care about closers. They thought that they could rotate them in and out because the unit itself was so volatile.
Oh, and some of the people were calling for Tanner Scott. Wow, we missed out.
Yeah,
he was bad. He's hurt now. So like,
some were calling for Mason Miller.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
But I'm saying, but like, my point is that it's like the bullpens are a crapshoot. You just never know. There's no guarantees in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, Mason Miller, yes. $73 million for Tanner Scott, probably not.
He had a horrible year, and now he's hurt, not playing in the World Series. I mean, it's crazy.
100%. So So credit to them for putting that together, and honestly, credit to Tommy Hotovy and Craig Counsell for finding these guys, figuring out what their roles were. Brad Keller did not start the year in the role that he finished in, right? That didn't happen. Daniel Palencia wasn't even on the team when the year started. So they've had to roll with the punches. They've definitely made it work. And one of the impressive parts was that, honestly, the bullpen from the start of the year all the way to the end of the year, outside of the Ryan Presley situation, it was pretty damn good for a bullpen type year. Like, I will take this year from the Chicago Cubs almost every time. Like, I don't think that the blow-ups, the problems, they were few and far in between. You had one problem with a player that you're going to have to eat some money on. But other than that, I thought it was pretty solid.
At the start of the season, if you would have told me win a playoff series and lose Game 5 of the NLDS, I would have signed up for it in a heartbeat.
Right.
Absolutely.
The Cubs are back to being relevant.
Yes.
That is the key to this season. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but the Cubs are back to being relevant in the National League. They are definitely one of the 8 best teams in Major League Baseball, and that's where they made it. So we'll see how it all unfolds. We're going to be here all offseason. Hope you're going to be here with us, too, as you have been with us all season long. And you know what? Next year's almost here.
Is it?
That's what they say.
How many days until spring training?
Wait till next year. It's almost here, baby.
How many days until opening day?
Jared's here? Oh, well, let's not end this thing.
Bring
then.
him in.
We'll bring it on.
Bring him in.
On.
Let me see a stogie.
Just when you thought it was out, they reeled you back in. Jared Wyllys from Milwaukee. Jared, obviously a lot of disappointed Cubs fans in the chat. I felt like the offense showed the same problems that it's shown for the last 2 months. It was like the 2 games at Wrigley didn't happen, and it reverted back to not taking enough walks, swinging at balls out of the zone, and they could not get past the Brewers scouting report of these guys will chase high heat. And I saw so much of it, I don't even know what to say about it. How disappointing or how disappointed were the players in the offensive output to just get 1 run in this game?
Yeah, I mean, this was a game that felt very familiar. It felt like we'd watched some version of this quite a few times over the last few months of the season. And, you know, there was definitely some disappointment in the locker room, but, you know, most of their conversations just now had a lot more to do with kind of thinking about the season as a whole and looking ahead and some of those kinds of things. And, you know, we did talk to Kyle Tucker in particular because, you know, as I'm sure you guys have probably unpacked it already, his at-bat there in the 6th inning with 2 runners on and no outs is a pretty huge spot. And it's that 5th pitch of that at-bat that he fouls off. And that was the one to do damage on. If you look at where that pitch was in the zone, that was his moment. It just didn't happen. But, you know, he talked to, it was a little bit of kind of like tip your cap to the Brewers pitching sort of thing. You know, they executed, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it just did feel like this was a very familiar kind of Cubs loss where not only is the offense not getting on base, you weren't even seeing necessarily a whole lot of quality at-bats. And that, to me, was the big difference between the way they looked at Wrigley in, you know, the games 3 and 4 of this series versus tonight, where it was just like you got 1 runner to second base after Seiya's homer, and that was it.
Jared, we're trying to make sense of that. We've got a lot of comments here in the chat. To further that, something just to think about, obviously the Chicago Cubs in 8 playoff games struck out 81 times. In 5 playoff games against the Brewers, they struck out 46 times. How do you make sense of that? Is that an area of improvement that the Chicago Cubs need to target? Is that perhaps is that also the Padres and the Brewers just having high velocity arms and just kind of running into the teams that you run into that really prioritize and emphasize that kind of pitching? Or is that also a little bit of both? This is the nature of the game. This is where the game is. High velocity. You got to get it done in these moments. And, yeah, whether it is high four-seam, whatever it is, 81 strikeouts in 8 playoff games just isn't going to cut it.
Exactly. And I think it's definitely more this is the way that this is the direction that the game is moving, because you do just see so many more guys who can hit mid to upper 90s, even triple digits. That's becoming such less a novelty than it used to be, that you have to have hitters who are equipped to handle that. And like Luke said, that velocity that's up high in the zone, because they do chase after that. But if you're not able to attack that successfully, then it does make it really easy for teams to game plan against you. And we see the evidence of that, where they strike out as much as they do, particularly in these playoff series, these high-pressure situations where the team is also able to get more looks at you than you might have during a regular season matchup. You know, this 5-game series against the Brewers just now, this is already a team that's very familiar with you, and the more looks at you they get, the more opportunities there were to take advantage. And to me, that's an area that needs to be addressed for this group offensively, where you've got to work on how do we handle that velocity, what do we do with the pitches that are coming to the top of the zone, so that we can get those quality at-bats again. Because when they start to get traffic, that's when, you know, that's the huge difference between, say, the Cubs of just 2 nights ago and the Cubs that we just watched today.
Jared, question for you. I was at Game 7 of the World Series back in 2016 in Cleveland, and I would say it was probably 60% Indians and 40% Cub fans. We don't have the audio on watching these games. I'm sure only during the Seiya Suzuki home run you could really hear it, but how well were the Cub fans represented, or was it completely a Milwaukee home game, if you will?
No, it was. There were a lot of Cubs fans here, particularly in that section kind of behind the Cubs dugout. It was sort of a big patch of blue over there. And as I was looking around at the crowd, you could see a lot of blue shirts on. So Cubs fans came out. They represented themselves well here. The trouble was, Cubs just didn't give them a whole lot to make noise about, and so, you know, kind of after a while, it did start to feel like, oh, this is just very much a Brewers home game, because they were doing all of the things that they needed to do and giving their fan base something to cheer for. The Cubs just really didn't.
No, it was an improved season, no question about that, and now they need more improving in the offseason. Jared, any other nuggets you want to tell us before you send us into the offseason of 2025 into 2026 and the dark, cold place that it is?
Nothing worse than the baseball offseason. It's my least favorite time of year. But no, Kyle Tucker was asked about free agency, and he gave the same kind of answer he's been given all along. You know, if you were to ask me what his demeanor and his body language seemed to communicate, I don't get the impression that this is a guy who's too keen on giving the Cubs a hometown discount or anything like that. I think he enjoyed his time here, but when the time comes, he's going to still be looking to get top dollar as much as he can. Now, you know, his season and how that's going to impact the contract offers that he gets, that's a whole different subject. But I think one of the biggest takeaways from talking to a lot of the players just now is they do feel very good about what they've done this year and what it's going to mean for 2026. Because there's a lot of young guys who got some really valuable experience in a season like this, and that does carry over, that does bode well for next year. But so much of it is going to depend on what kinds of additions they make, and, you know, like we talked about a few minutes ago, how you adjust some of your approaches on offense. So there's reason to be optimistic about next year, but it is going to require some activity from the front office in the offseason.
Jared, thanks for all your work. Great stuff throughout the season. We'll still be looking in the offseason for your stuff at allchgo.com. Safe travels back to Chicago, and anytime you want to pop in here, you know, for a little sit-down in the offseason.
Oh, please, will you? Come on.
We've had a lot of Portillo's cake here. That's all I'm going to tell you. We got a lot of cake still in the fridge.
Save me some leftovers. I'll be there.
All right. Thanks, Jared. Drive safely.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Jared will have more stuff for you at allchgo.com.
Can you imagine if we have cake like here next spring training?
Well, what if Jared comes in like 2 weeks and he's like, "Where's the cake?" I'm like, "Well, it's in the second fridge over there."
A piece of rally cake left for spring training.
Man.
That won't happen. That's going to go down real. Whatever's left is going to go down real fast. Anyways,
God.
like we were saying before Jared came on, we still have almost 450 people hanging with us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to everybody in the live YouTube chat. We appreciate you all season long. Make sure you don't go away in the off season. We're here. Follow us on Twitter. Don't miss the YouTube page because we have stuff cranking out there every single day, whether it's shorts, whether it's videos, VODs, you name it. Anything else I missed on that, Sarah, content-wise? I get all the hit words?
No,
And look,
you
before we
nailed
wrap it
it.
up, I want to say, like, I'm obviously very new here, right?
Yeah.
I've had a blast with you guys. It's been so
Yeah,
fun.
man,
it has been fun.
I'm a diehard Cub fan. I feel like I've been training for this moment my entire life, just talking to, like, my dad and my buddies. And, like, it's been fun talking Cubs with you two in our chat. And Sarah getting, some of her feistiness going on during the game and stuff. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we can run it back and have some more fun and watch this thing grow. But regardless, I've had a great time with you guys, and it's been fun. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
We didn't have cake without you.
I mean, I don't
You
want
brought
to,
the first salted caramel cake in.
I don't want to say that, but
It's
yeah,
the truth.
it's true.
Yeah. And your wife making desserts.
Yes.
The postseason,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, guys. I mean, just a really unique opportunity and really grateful and honored. I'm sandwiched in between two Emmy winners, so that's pretty radical right now.
True story. True story.
True story. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good
is.
story, Luke.
Credit to you.
It's true. We've been a blast, and maybe my send-off here is it looks like we've been bum-rushed by a bunch of Brewers fans in
we
our
have
chat.
so many Brewers fans.
And look, guys, look, here's the deal, okay? I don't like your sports team. I root against you. I'm a big-time Cubs fan, right? I'm not willingly handing you out a high five, all right?
Your custard.
But congratulations. You're moving on. You're taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers, okay? You're always welcome in our wonderful city with our amazing food and our cool people and our great public trans, and come on down and hang out. But other than that, like, good luck. God bless. I don't know. I'm not talking mess. They just beat us, man.
they
It is
beat
what it
us.
is.
They won.
It is what it is. And
beat us.
and here's what you do. Oh, here's what it is. People in the comments chats right now, do me a favor, all right? Promise me that you come back into the chat next year when we play Cubs Brewers, all right? Hang out
that's
when
nice.
things are going good, and when we beat your head in, come out when things are going bad. And if we play again in a playoff series, I want to see you guys in the chat too as well. You guys are always welcome. Always welcome to watch our show. But yeah, man, you guys beat us. Nothing to say.
See you at the Supper Club.
Have fun
thank-
trying to win a World Series. We got one of those, right? I had to get it in. I'm sorry.
2016.
I had to do it. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
We have,
We have three of those.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We had to do
Let's
it.
not forget, what was that, 07, 08?
We went back to back in 07,
07,
08. Yeah. You don't got to say 19. We went back to back in 07 and 08.
That was a
Right,
great
say
year.
it.
exactly.
Hopefully Caleb's coming for you. Thanks for checking out the
That's another thing.
CHGO Cubs podcast presented by our friends at Toyota and Bet365. Thanks for a great season. And now here it comes, the long off season. Live it with us. Until then, fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.